What's happening, YouTube? My name is Rafael from Top Shop Collectibles. If you're new here, thank you for being here. And in today's video, we're going to talk about if you're opening a trading card business in 2025, what you need to do or what you need to watch out for. So, I used to have a company called Funko Collectibles back in 2019, and that company didn't do so well. I used to rip for content, and as you may already know from the previous videos on this channel, that didn't work out too well. So I made some mistakes, and long story short, that company was dissolved. And if you want to see the full story of how that went down, the link will be in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. I go in detail as to what happened and all that. But in this video, I want to touch about what is important when you're trying to open a trading card business in 2025. Based on my experiences, based on other small businesses that I run on the side. I also work a full-time job. This is a part-time thing for me, but also mostly based on the mistakes that were made back in 2019 with my previous Funko Collectibles company, which is no longer in business. We are now revamping to Top Shop Collectibles, and we are taking you guys along the way with our progress, our growth, learning from our mistakes, and just trying to do better and taking the community with us at the same time. So everything that I'm going to touch in this video, please be aware that I am not a CPA accountant certified by any means. I am not wanting to be one, but it is very important, in my opinion, to know and understand before you dabble into any type of business, whether it is selling services or anything like that, because you will be in a world of pain if you don't prepare accordingly. So, like I said in this video, we're going to talk about what you need to know before you dabble into opening a trading card business, especially if you're trying to do it online like I am right now, because as you may already know, a lot of the distribution access, those doors are closed right now, and they won't open up until who knows when. So the big question that a lot of people ask is, do you need a company? Do you need to create an LLC to run a business like selling or reselling Pokemon cards? And the answer to that, well, it depends, right? Every individual has its own situation, and in reality, you really don't need an LLC or any type of company to run it. You can just, buy a product from a wholesaler and resell it on eBay, Mercari, right? And you don't need a company to do that. That's just reselling like everybody can. But an LLC does bring a lot of value to the plate, and one big one is limited liability, right? You get liability. LLC stands for limited liability company, and it essentially separates your personal belongings from your business. So you want to have that separation to be able to conduct business and personal as personal. You never want to commingle your business money with your personal money, because in an event that you get sued, a judge will see that and put it into one big bag, and you can lose your personal belongings, your basic Charizard, your I don't know, your Moonbream slab, and all your booster box and cases and whatnot, because everything is a game, right? We don't want that. I firmly believe that an LLC is very important to create, and I will encourage everybody to look into what are the benefits of creating an LLC and starting the company that way, as opposed to just doing it without one. But that's just my personal opinion. Again, call your accountant, figure out if that's a move that you will want to do, depending on what type of sales you're going to have the first year. A lot of them are going to tell you that it's not needed, but if you're trying to take this serious, then an LLC is the way to go. So, business entity and tax classifications. This is something important. A lot of people, I feel, that get it confused or use them interchangeably, but they shouldn't. A business entity, and again, bear with me, this is taxes. Who loves taxes, right? Nobody does. But this is going to be very short and to the point. I'm going to try to do my best. So business entity versus tax classification. Business entity is an LLC, a corporation, a partnership. That's a business entity, right? You opened a company. A tax classification is you telling the IRS or how they're going to tax you. So the IRS will tax you as a single member LLC with something called pass through, which means that any profits that you make from your LLC will just go on top of your W-2 job or 1099, whatever your main job is. So if you're at a higher bracket, that may not be good, because if you're at 25 or 26% bracket, taxation bracket for your tax income, then any profit that you make that year and you're selling off your company, then you're going to end up at that bracket, 25% taxes, right, from the income. So usually, if you don't have a W-2 job, then you may be okay. You may not need to do anything else. The pass-through default taxation, it's okay. But tax classification is essentially how you get taxed at the end of the year. And the beauty of an LLC is that you can tell the IRS how to get taxed. You can get taxed, you can leave it as a default. You can file a form 25 or 2254, something like that. I'll put it up here, but you can file that form and tell the IRS, hey, I don't want the default. I want to be taxed as an S corp instead, which is basically just saying that instead of you putting, there's benefits, there's a lot of benefits to it, but one main benefits of doing that, and that's basically the delay that I'm having right now, because I really don't want to open up my website and start selling until this is all situated for me personally. And that what this essentially is going to do is that any profit that you have at the end of the year, because you have a W-2 income, you can take a salary, like a 60% of the profits as salary, and the 40% of profits, you can take it as a distribution, which is taxed way less than your salary. Again, I'm not a professional. Check with your state laws and your accountant, CPA. There's a lot of them that do free consultations, but there is some people that are better off starting a company with as an S corp taxation classification, and others are just a-okay with just an LLC as default, right? It depends and varies by individual and by state. So you basically file to open your LLC, right? Once it's created, you then apply for an IEN number, which is essentially like a social security, but for your company. After you have that, you will apply for a reseller's license. You're gonna need that. If you're gonna eventually need distribution access, you're gonna need a reseller's license. Once you have that done, you can use your IEN and create a bank account. Go to your local bank, create a bank account under the business name. And then one other thing that is not really necessary is the operating agreement. Usually, if you have one or two or more members of the company, you will want an operating agreement. Basically, details who owns what, who's investing how much, and it just both members will sign. I highly suggest you create an operating agreement if you have two or more members. If you're a solo, then you don't really have to worry about it. But yeah, once you got that done, the next thing that you need to worry about, and it's a big one, and that I actually just learned not so long ago about, is Nexus. Nexus, it pertains mostly to online selling companies that do not sell through like eBay, Mercari, and TCG Player. This is if you have your own website, because those platforms handle all of those taxes for you up to a certain threshold. Anytime you surpass that threshold, they'll give you a 1099 at the end of the year when you sell, so much throughout the year. But if you have your own website and you're selling through your own website, you need to be familiar with Nexus. Very important. You do not want to overlook this. You can read up on it. It varies by state, but essentially what it is that when you sell from your state, your home state, you're going to charge taxes to the state that you're in. Most of them is going to want you to charge taxes to the state that you're selling in, right? I'm in Illinois. I charge taxes to the people in Illinois. Once I start selling to people in California, Nebraska, and other states, I have to know what the nexus is in those states, right? What limits, Nexus dictates the limits to when I need to start taking taxes, sales tax from those states, right? For example, a lot of the limits in Nexus for different states is either $200,000 or 200 transactions, right? It varies by state. But if I'm in Illinois and I am Nexus in Illinois, any Illinoisan, I would charge sales tax, right, in Illinois. Now, if I have a lot of California people that are buying through my website from California, once I hit $200,000 or 100 or 200 transactions, I don't know the exact numbers, hypothetical, right? Then I need to start charging taxes from that state and passing it on to the local, either state and the IRS or whatnot. So it is very important for you to know about Nexus in all the states, because at some point or another, as you grow, you're going to reach Nexus for almost all states. And once you start doing that, you don't want to miss that, because what happens if you don't take taxes when you're supposed to from those states? Guess who's responsible? You are. You are to pay all those sales tax at the end of the year. And it could be a hefty bill. So make sure you're aware and you know how Nexus work. And there's companies that charge you for tracking. Shopify has a really good system of putting in the percentages, because every state has different sales tax percentages. So that you just activate it in Shopify and you can do that. I don't know how it works with Wix and any other platforms, but I know Shopify does it that way. And there is a company that you can hire. I forget what the name is, but they will track it for you so that you know that, hey, you're about to hit Nexus for this date. Make sure you turn it on so that any more transactions just start collecting taxes from them, and then you move on. Like I said, eBay, TCG Player, Mercari, you really don't have to worry about it because they have a different law, marketplace law, something like that that they go by, and that's how they do it. So taxes when buying product. This is a big one, I believe, too. And the big thing here is that when you're buying from a distributor, if they are not charging you taxes when you're buying, you need to collect taxes from your buyers, whoever's purchasing from you, right? Because if you don't, you are responsible for those taxes because they are reporting that they're selling to you tax free to the IRS and to the state, and they're expecting you to charge those taxes when you sell. Now you may be thinking, well, could I just go to my distributor and buy the ETBs for $36 and sell them on Facebook Market? Well, yeah, you can, but you're going to be expected to pay all those taxes at the end of the year. And not only that, you need to have records of all those transactions too if you get one day audited. So just be very mindful of that. Another thing is that if you have a reseller's license and IEN as a business, you could go to Costco and Sam's and get a business account that you can buy product. Not that I'm condoning doing the whole Costco wrestling thing, but you could potentially buy tax free at those places because they do have a program like that. Not every store has it, retailer has it, but you can buy tax free for business purposes. And again, that's going to be reported. You have to collect taxes when you sell. Then you may be thinking, well, what if I just walk into my local Walmart, Target, or whatever store and I buy and then I sell? Then no, that's just a standard reseller or retail arbitrage, what they call it. You don't have to worry about taxes. You already pay taxes when you purchase them. Now, if you're buying them from those stores and you're paying taxes when you buy them from like Target and Walmart, and then you turn around and you list them on your website, that's part of a business LLC IEN number through the state, and you're trying to sell and you are nexus in the state through your website, then yes, you need to charge taxes. And you may be thinking, well, damn, we're paying taxes twice. I paid taxes when I bought it from Target, and then I'm selling it for some profit online. Well, yeah, that's the government's gonna get their money one way or another. And if it's double, they will get it double. There's nothing you can do about it. That's how it works. You gotta charge taxes regardless. So just be mindful that anytime a transaction or a product crosses your website that is through a business, you are to charge taxes if your nexus in the state, right? Just look up nexus and it'll read up on it and it'll enlighten you a little more. That this pertains to somebody that's wanting to open their own website and run product through there. So that's how that works when buying. Now there is some states that don't have any sales tax. So if you're in a state that has zero sales tax, then you don't charge taxes to your state. But if you're selling a lot to a particular state like Illinois and you reach the Illinois Nexus threshold, which is I think $100,000 or 200 transactions, you need to start collecting taxes from Illinoisans. Just be mindful of that. Okay, so again, this is not financial advice. This is just me talking to you guys about my experiences and what I've been going through and trying to just, put some information out there that I think is valuable to people that are also looking to do this. And if you have any questions or if anything I said today wasn't completely accurate, if you have any questions, just comment down below. Let me know. I'm more than willing to help out. I'm not a CPA, certified accountant, or any of that matter, but this is just my personal experience and learning from the mistakes that I made in the past and trying to pushing towards progress with Top Shop Collectibles. Again, my website is not yet live because I have a couple things that I'm still working out with essentially this tax classifications, and I want to make sure everything is set and done the right way and not having to backtrack a year or two later because I didn't do this the right way up front. So I hope you guys found this useful and grab some information that is valuable to you and that you can apply in the near future if you ever decide to dabble into this. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.